my gosh.
Oh my god, it's been a long, hard road to the top.
Guys, we've been in a lake for a month now.
We've been frozen in the lake
Mhm.
for a month.
Mhm.
5 weeks.
I
Oh my
can't
God.
even see it though. What am I doing wrong?
Oh no, it takes it a little bit. Twitch is
to catch up.
yeah.
I got you.
Twitch is always bumping these days.
Always a little slow.
Oh, shit. Hold up.
Always just a little bit.
I'm glad we got our first profanity out of the way. I don't remember what our donation was, but
$10.
Wait, who said the bad word?
It was me.
Oh, rip.
I just got a nice little blast of audio to the ears that I wasn't expecting.
glorious.
That's your technology censoring itself.
I found my digital character sheet. I'm actually gonna drag that on screen for people to check out because there's something I wanna show our audience. Let me bring it on over.
You mean how cool the design of the Mörk Borg character sheet is?
Oh well, that's true. This is not. This is just a digital one that I've got on my Google Docs, so I can.
I love your font choices.
Thank you.
Loving it.
You can tell when somebody spends too much time on that. The one thing I don't know how to do is I don't know how to zoom. There we are. Okay, let's zoom in real quick. So one of the things that I'm really excited about, I was just reviewing kind of what's going on with Gorm by going through his character sheet, checking out some of the stuff I've got listed. Most of it I've left blank because I didn't understand things early. But here's my favorite thing right here. I should probably a little bit more specificity here. Good. So everybody's ready for when these babies come out. Don't tell Oz what we're looking at. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted you all to say. Oz
Thank you so much.
Oz is so bothered right now.
Oz is not looking.
He has no idea what's in store for him.
You got some nice pocket pepper there.
Oh gosh, dang it!
Dang it.
Who told him?
We didn't say anything. Twitch is a snitch.
Oh, I love it.
Oh wow, looking at the stream, this is so much better than my laptop webcam that just looks directly up at me.
Isn't it great?
And I will be, again, Oz, I'm totally honest, being totally honest here, the camera on your phone is better than the camera.
It brings out the color in your eyes.
It does.
It's almost like my phone is from 2019.
In your cold, lifeless eyes. Really shine through just those coals.
Perfect.
So, hey everybody, we're back. Really excited for you all for coming to join us on this here Twitch stream. We're gonna do a quick. Oz is gonna recap, catch us all up. I know no one's forgotten anything about what was going on, but just in case you need a little refresher, Oz is gonna catch us up. And the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give you guys quick, refreshing who our characters are, and also I think also who our menagerie of companions are. A little bit about what's going on with them, so when we jump into the story, everybody feels like we're all kind of caught up and ready to go. This is we officially realized we haven't streamed in 5 weeks, and we just really appreciate everybody's patience while we were all of us, I think, attending some what we all felt were more important uses of our time and energy. So thank you guys so much for your patience through that. We really appreciate it. So should I start? Should we just and then go around?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for this Mörk Borg campaign, my name's Alon. I'm with Goblins and Growlers. Growling Goblins Studios, where you're watching right now. We're an inclusive community building tabletop gaming group out of Richmond, Virginia. We've got some really exciting things coming up, which is kind of crazy because we haven't had those in a while, in the form of some digital conventions that we're creating content for currently. So check us out at Goblins and Growlers on Instagram, Goblins and Growlers on Facebook, Goblins Growlers on Twitter. That's it. I'm the Dungeon Meowster. If you feel like getting more pictures of my cat Zarko, who will join us every now and again. Gorm is an esoteric hermit. and Gorm is kind of like, I think this is the most time Gorm has spent with people in probably like 30 years.
30
30 decades.
Right.
He's a very old man.
So Gorm, I think, is trying to figure out whether he is comfortable with this or not. The more that being around these people has led him to kind of schools with ashy children, ash piles that were once children. The other kind of hardships that he's seeing, I think he's kind of like normalizing it. So we'll see where Gorm's journey continues, but he's excited to have some companionship who doesn't immediately run away from him. So that's Gorm, who I'm playing. Yeah, Vi.
We'll go this way. All right, I am Vi. I'm Vi by Violet Cosplay on Instagram and Twitter. I, in this campaign, play Gilbert the Fool. He is wretched royalty, so he has a royal background, and was followed by Poltroon, who is a court jester, into this sort of menagerie of people. He definitely trusts everybody that he's with at this point. I think they've all passed like his trial by fire, but he does think that he's like a little too good for all of them, a little too royal for all of them, and he's kind of coming to terms with, you know, his own insecurities by being really overly secure, and is therefore kind of a cocky asshole. He in this schoolhouse with the Ash children received a note from his former kingdom of his boyfriend who lives inside his singing sword. So he had a quick, quiet moment, a little freak out about that, and he's kind of waiting in the wings to see what that note means, and what his past has in store for his present. So that's where we are. Ben time. Ben, you're muted.
Hi, now I got it. So hi, I'm Ben, Drunkle Ben on Instagram and Twitch, and I don't stream because I'm lazy. I play Scrum. He's a Gutterborn Scum, also a bastard and an escaped orphan, and all sorts of fun things, who trusts no one, is not comfortable in his current situation being surrounded by a bunch of slightly eccentric and just very crazy people. He only trusts his best friend, which is a skull named Bob, and he's just here for a good time, man. Not a long time.
I love him. I love Bob.
Bob is also here for a good time, and his time's already passed.
What's the opposite of wait? It's like negative time now. He's
gaining time.
He sure is.
He's in overtime.
He's here for a long time, not a good
He's
time.
he's living on loaned time.
Here for a long time, not a good time. That's a Twitter bio. Like someone snatched that up.
Okay. Kim, I think you're up.
That's me. Yes, I'm Kim. Sanji's Closet on Instagram, and I play Ernge, the fanged deserter who loves his pets more than anything in the world. Precious cinnamon roll who will also kill you. And he also thinks he's a little better than ever. No, I'm kidding. And I don't know. Ernge is just a treat. I love Ernge. He's so good.
You have to walk us through all of your pets.
All the pets, that's right. Ernge has a mule named Ernge, and a dog named Ernge, and a rat named Ernge. And the challenge continues to be able to decipher which enunciation of Ernge each of the rest of the party is.
I'm real excited. This honestly, this is the true cliffhanger of this campaign.
I have them written down, and it's top secret. Also really excited. I got a commission set of orange dice in the works today. So
That's dope.
That is dope.
It's so good.
So from Root Beer over on Instagram. So very excited.
I cannot wait to see those. Please share this with the class.
Oh,
when
we'll
they come
we'll
back.
have an unboxing video.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have human teeth on order.
How do you get
Absolutely.
Or
those?
the dice. Yeah.
What kind of human just says, "Okay, here's my teeth"?
Well, they're acrylic
Children.
teeth.
Oh, okay.
They're cast from yeah.
Man,
But I
Wait,
do have
wait, wait,
baby
wait.
teeth now that I think about it.
That's
If I
what I'm
can
saying.
find them.
Lots of moms collect. I have a handful of my friends who are mothers who collect their kids' baby teeth, and I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, I'm
Send
pretty
them
sure
to
my
my
mom has
friend.
mine, and that's weird, and it's always weirded me out.
Mm-hmm.
I still have somewhere, I don't know where, my first tooth that I ever lost. And lost is not a good way to put it because one day at dinner I decided I just didn't want that tooth in my mouth anymore, and I went into the bathroom and pulled it out of my face.
that's pretty metal.
And that's where I peaked in metalness in life. It's just been downhill from there. I was 5, so it's,
Like, an adult could never say that without getting committed. I could never be in the middle of eating something and then just be like, I don't want this in my head anymore, and go and remove it. Like, there would be something wrong with me, probably.
well,
But as a
and
kid, no, that's perfectly fine.
that yeah. So and it was a front tooth too.
Oh,
That
joyous.
was,
My first tooth removal was also removed for me by concrete. It fell off the back of a truck.
Oh, jeez.
ouch.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
if you remove
Not
it that
pleasant.
way, it takes like 3 years to come back. So I have the 3 years of pictures of me just without that tooth.
Alon, I feel you
Mhm.
because I ripped that tooth out of my face when it wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
5 years later, my family had to take me to the dentist, and they had to like do oral surgery just to get the tooth to descend, the adult tooth. Like it,
It's part of the process.
they don't like coming out early.
No, the only
No.
thing, it's funny, just real quick before we let Oz talk, because I know we're trying to keep him off the mic as long as possible. I think one of the most metal things ever is flossing, but only when you haven't done it in a while. So it's really difficult because I have to plan out. I keep a calendar, so I have to plan out how long it takes for me to floss before I can have just a mouthful of just bloody gums that's really metal. It's usually like 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks. If anybody's trying
Yeah.
to plan it for themselves at home, keep a
So-
flossing calendar.
I see
Yeah.
my twin in the chat, who's remembering the tooth dinner. So we'll try it.
Yeah, I also love the blue _ cicada, considering the cicada theme that we have had in
Mhm.
this stream.
That's a shared memory.
That's a beautiful thing. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes the vibes carry.
Mhm.
So, real quick before we actually get on to serious things, have you guys ever had the like jujube candies, like the
Yeah.
really shitty gummy candies? And there's another.
Are you
$10.
going to tell me that you had one of those pop one of your teeth out? Because I'm going to.
Yeah, no, my grandma told me, she was like, oh, the best way to get rid of your baby teeth is to eat jujubes. So I did, and it came out right with one. And I remember it was a green one because it tasted disgusting. And like I just kind of like sank my loose tooth into it and then lifted up really hard, and it came right out. It was
Oh
so
my
gross.
God.
Those
It's just
they are like
horrifying.
dental putty. Like
They are.
those candies.
And
Grandma
it was blood
wisdom.
and jujube and tooth, and it was
You
gross.
know, State Fair saltwater taffy, similar.
Oh yeah.
Consistency.
As someone from New Jersey, 100% on the saltwater taffy.
My grandpa lost at least 1 crown to State
Oh,
Fair
no.
saltwater taffy.
I've never lost a tooth like
Oh.
that, but I have lost a tooth in the ocean, which is the most Jersey Shore type
Oh my
thing.
God.
Did the tooth
Everyone,
did the tooth fairy still come?
no, absolutely not.
She came to Ariel under the.
Yeah, she came. It was just like a random crab, just like
And they actually fought over it because Ariel was like, "This is my whatchamahoosit, and you can't have it."
yeah.
Mhm.
God, the whatchamacallits, the whatchamahoozits. Yeah, the whatchamahoozits are just a sack of human baby teeth.
I think that the
Everyone
tooth
new to
fairy is
this
my
stream,
favorite
this is
thing.
common.
There's
Like,
the tooth
okay.
fairy, and then there's the tooth mermaid. It's like,
And that's the person selling teeth on Etsy that's
Right.
Florida based.
right.
Oh,
For all your
Someone selling
dice making
teeth.
needs, contact the tooth mermaid.
Someone selling teeth on Etsy would be a Floridian, though.
oh, of course. There's
Oh, yeah.
nowhere else where that would be.
Mm.
Everyone brand new to the stream, like, this is run of the mill. Like, welcome to Mörk Borg. We talk about teeth a lot.
We do, because of the wizard teeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
The wizard teeth.
We
are-
talk about teeth more than any other campaign I've run, and I've run so many.
So wait, does Orange still have all his baby teeth?
Orange. No.
And he just wears the wizard teeth over top?
So Orange's teeth are a special situation. He doesn't quite remember how he got those.
Good.
I like
Are teeth an appropriate gift? Does he appreciate additional teeth, or are these
Oh my
special
God.
teeth?
Especially if there's still bits of gum attached, so that he can tell that you removed them, especially for him. He will absolutely add them to his bag of wizard teeth.
That's a valuable insight into
Yeah.
his character.
Orange loves any gift.
but especially
Um,
I feel like at this point, you guys, Orange cherishes anything that he receives or takes.
Or steals.
Or steals,
So, real
specifically
quick,
from libraries.
I'm gonna see if I can move the Zoom call back onto my computer instead of my phone because it only shows like 4 people at a time in the Zoom call. Not like being able to see all of your lovely faces.
Here we go. Everybody get ready for the whole thing to crash.
Let's
Here we
find
go.
out. So I'm gonna leave and then reconnect in a moment.
Drum roll, please. Everybody at home. We're gonna have a Zarko cam for the crash.
Oh, hello.
What do you think, Z? That's my dice box. Dice box.
Awesome.
A rad dice
Zarko.
box.
Will Zarko play some fetch while we're waiting on Oz?
Let's find out. Let's put this up here. Everybody can see my.
Success.
Wow, that worked really well.
Yay.
That was quick.
I haven't
That
even been
did
able
work
to
really
get
well.
Zarko to play fetch yet. I haven't been able to figure out how I'm gonna rig my camera. Maybe down here. Everybody can see my tax documents.
That's safe.
Yeah. I'm sure there's
Join
nothing
me
too
in
important.
Social Security stolen hell.
There
There he goes.
he goes.
Oh, wait. See if she comes back
You
with
coming
it.
back, Z?
As you can see, that's the laundry I've folded and the laundry I haven't. Up. No rubber band though.
Oh.
Well, she came back, and
Right.
that's what's important.
Right.
She's
That
like a
is.
boomerang.
This is how you know if your cat loves you.
Do they come back? Speaking of, where's our cat? Is she in the office?
Yep, she's underneath the bed in here.
Oh, good.
Good. Zarko Cam was great. That worked out really well. We actually got Oz on camera. Oz, tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about yourself. You haven't introduced yourself yet. Tell us what's going on.
You know, there's just been so much good talk about teeth that I couldn't interrupt. Hi
Oz
everyone.
has great teeth, by the way.
My teeth are okay. They get the job done.
Those pearly off whites.
Yep. Hi everyone. I'm Oz. I am at the Viking cosplay on Twitter and Instagram. I do photography and art and lots of cooking recently and game design. I've really missed this campaign. It's been 5 weeks of not seeing these goons that I adore. And yeah, I've missed all the talks about teeth personally. I'm ready to get back to it.
What are we getting back to, Oz? Give us a little set the
Yeah,
scene
we-
for us.
Need a big ol' recap.
Yeah, gonna start this off with like a thick recap, like a whole anime episode recapping the last season.
Just
'cause it's been
imagine
so
him
confusing.
pouring it out like lard across your screen.
Just everywhere.
Topped off the lard jar the other day, by the way.
It's
Oh,
nice and
heck
full
yeah.
now. All right, so in games past, our heroes ready to be executed
have found their way of escape, being told that they are of somewhat special importance. They are sent to investigate the kidnapping of Alden, one of the boys from the cathedral. They get into some trouble with a man covered in tattoos with a large flaming axe by the name of Jessica. In a tough battle, our heroes were able to defeat him. Ernge now wields the flaming axe, and they found a letter in an ancient language that they did not understand. When they went back to Galgenbeck, they got the letter translated, and it was talking about the great work that he had done at the Mirror Lake up north. When our players went to investigate Mirror Lake, accompanied by a man who knows a lot about the occult by the name of Glenn, they found a schoolhouse by the side of the lake. Inside were children petrified in stone. And as they went around and high-fived the children, the stone just crumbled to dust all around them. They complimented some of the art. They told some of the children that they are bad at math, as you do to children. As the sun set, they went back out into the Mirror Lake, where there was a glow of light underneath the surface, something drawing them in. Our buddy Scrum has suffered quite the concussion trying to bash through the ice with his head, as some of our other adventurers have as well. It's a good cat you got there.
I love that she joins me on stream. She knows when I'm streaming.
It's so good. So then, with the help of Ernge's flaming flail, they were able to pierce through the surface of the ice. Where last we left off, our heroes were underneath the surface in the ice-cold drink as Ernge the mule fell in, along with Gilbert, and Scrum was safely distant, holding on to Ernge the dog.
I feel like I got headbutted because I tried to stop somebody from headbutting the ice.
That was me.
Yes,
Sorry.
so you
Okay.
also plunged into the ice.
Right, so I was with Gilbert. Okay.
Yeah. So we're all three of us are in the water.
Yes.
With the mule, and then Scrum and Ernch the dog are safely on shore.
Mm-hmm.
Burnout.
Safely.
Before we get into the scene, do we want to tell everybody about the charities that we're donating to?
Yeah,
because that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
It's been a while. We're off our rhythm a little bit.
Kim's
Oh,
on.
wow.
Yeah, Kim's on top of her game here.
Teacher mode.
Yeah. To continue with how we've been donating and with current events, all donations and proceeds from this stream will be going towards the NAACP bail fund towards Black Lives Matter. So
Heck
get those
yeah.
donations in, get those bits in, those likes, those subscribes, those follows, retweets. I don't know how Twitch works. Just spread the word, throw some money here. If you're like Ben, who's generously given us the first donation of the day.
For the no jar.
For the no-no jar, exactly.
I forgot that I needed dice also for this campaign.
I
So
mean,
I just got my dice.
Zarko's trying to push things. She pushed off my Wild Pussycat headset. She's just pushing
Oh
things off.
no.
Yeah.
She wants to be the only pussycat in the room.
It's true.
See, Violet, I'm currently developing a tabletop role-playing system that uses rock, paper, scissors instead of dice. So maybe we can bring that over to Mörk Borg.
Absolutely.
The initial iteration was using the game of sticks, but it just always ended up in ties and didn't work out well. So just see Alon playing with the cat in the background.
I've got jorts on. I remember last time I wore these jorts with this, somebody was like, "Are you not wearing pants on your stream?"
Hey,
Oh,
man,
no.
pants are
Don't-
they're not necessary.
First off,
Yeah.
don't sass me. Second off, got my jorts on, my sassy jorts.
I mean, I am not wearing pants for this stream.
Right.
Can confirm had to give them back to him after he threw them down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a Zoom call if someone isn't in a state of undress? Discuss.
Probably not.
I'm not gonna name the person, but last week during a recording session for Quid Pro Roll, the podcast, we had somebody get up to turn on a lamp and they were not wearing pants. Absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
Oh my god, it was so funny. I hope that
That's so well done.
I hope that Gabe, who's our audio guy, sound guy, puts in the pre-roll or the post-roll our reaction because it was very funny. It's my subtweet to Gabe right now. Just putting it out, that energy out into the universe.
All right. So, without further ado, when last we left off, our heroes have just plunged into the icy lake below them. So, as you open up your eyes underneath the water and look around, trying to regain your direction, find up and down, underneath the water, you can see the source of the glow. You can make out from the haze of the water just a large glowing orb, and it seems that there are shadows or shapes floating around it. To the three of you in the water, what do you do?
Orange is going to swim towards his mule
Okay.
and make sure that it's on the surface and try to get it to shore.
So as you approach your mule, on the opposite side of the surface of the water, you see the face of Glenn, who has rushed over to the side, and he is trying his best to try to get Orange the mule up onto shore. But with your help from below and his help from above, you're able to move the mule thrashing about in the water to safety.
Fantastic.
As above, so below. I feel like Glenn is just like a really specific type of Redditor. No,
Yeah.
just seems right.
Yeah.
So when the like axe like flail like hit the ice and like we buckled into it, I feel like Gilbert like stuttered really hard and immediately like took a giant breath underwater and is just like feeling all of the cold like in his lungs and is like trying to like grab onto the side of this like pitfall of ice and like claw his way up onto the ice, but is very aware that there was something that sort of compelled him towards the light. What is the light doing right now?
So as these shapes move around it, it's kind of pulsating and moving slightly. It seems in and of itself stationary underneath the lake, but as these shapes move around it, its brightness changes.
Okay, as he like tries and pulls himself up like onto the ice and like forward, can he get like a good look at what this like light source is?
So yeah, make a presence check.
Is that a D20?
Yes. Unless we want to start implementing rock, paper, scissors as the base for this game.
No. Presence?
Yes.
14.
Okay, so through the haze and the confusion, you were able to get a good glimpse at that, and even through just your eyesight in water, these shapes kind of made sense to you. It almost looked like they were faces swirling around an orb, many different faces. You're not entirely convinced that that was real because you were just suffering so much trying to get air and find the surface, but you are fairly certain that's what you saw. It's imprinted in your brain almost like a dream that you had the night before.
Okay.
One face that you could make out quite clearly was Gorm's as he slowly sinks because he does not know how to swim.
If Gorm is falling, can Gilbert like try and like and like hold his nose and like get under there and pull him up?
Yeah, definitely. Both of you make a toughness check.
Gorm is panicking. So does that change anything I should do?
Yeah, so if he doesn't know how to swim and he is panicking, the difficulty for your check is going to be a 15.
Oof.
And for Gilbert, your difficulty is going to be a 13.
Hey, I hit it. I'm using this dice forever.
So what did you roll?
16.
16. And Gilbert?
8.
8. So Gilbert sees the silhouette of his traveling companion falling down the surface, and tries to quickly catch a breath to dive down underneath him, getting like distracted by the source of the light and trying to find Gorm as he falls. It takes you a little bit longer, and just the shock of what you now clearly see the faces circling around the orb, you forget where you are for a moment and take a breath inward. But in your movement going downward, your ankle does come within reach of Gorm. You're able to reach up to kind of find your way upward, Gorm, and get assistance upward.
So am I just pulling Gilbert down? Like, did I grab Gilbert's ankle and just start like?
Kinda, yeah. It's not working out too well for you, but you do have your direction and have kind of been able to calm yourself down a little bit.
So Ernj, as soon as his mule is taken care of, he turns back and notices that the other two are still under. And he's gonna dash back in to the water and try to drag them up.
So real quick, Gilbert, in your struggle and then being pulled down by Gorm, you take another sharp inhale in and take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
That's just from the coldness on your adult teeth.
As Gilbert is like, Gilbert now has sensitive teeth. As Gilbert is like sort of like panicking, like flailing around and like seeing all these faces, does he see any other faces of his companions?
So looking around, you see, of course,
specifically looking for Bob and Scrum.
So no, looking down beneath you as you feel like the grip on your ankle, you see Gorm, of course, and above you see the thrashing feet of Ernj and Ernj. So Ernj, because it does take time to get a mule out of water, probably.
Yeah.
The people in the water and Ben will have one more action, and then you can act underneath the surface.
Okay.
I feel like Ernj probably just goes straight into doing a butterfly. I feel like Ernj is.
Ernj is more of a breaststroke kind of a man.
Okay. Right.
You know.
Right.
Like somehow perfect form.
It's I mean you don't, it's not proper breaststroke unless you have cleavage at this point. Like at this, regardless of chest size.
Yes.
So what is Scrum doing in this moment?
Scrum, at the meantime, is looking for somewhere to tie up Ernj the dog. I don't know if I said that right, but Ernj the dog.
You're close.
Okay. So I'm going to look for anywhere to kind of like leash him to a tree or something. Is there anything nearby that I can do that with?
The closest thing is about 70 feet away at the schoolhouse.
Not great. Okay. I'm just going to look at the dog, then go, stay, Ernj, or stay, Ernj. And then I'm going to run over to the edge of the lake and push Bob's head under the water and scream, "Tell me what you see!"
and remind me, who's Bob? What's Bob's head look like?
Bob is just a skull.
Thank you.
Bob is a very clean, pristine skull that does not respond. It's not real. Well, the skull is real, but the voices and Scrum's head are not.
So as Gilbert is looking around, after a moment of seeing the thrashing feet of Ernj and Ernj, you see a skull plop down underneath the surface of the water and appear to look about frantically.
Gilbert is oddly comforted by this, like just like, and is going to try and like kick his way back up, like onto the ice, and like pull his friend with him.
Okay, so can I have both of you make more toughness checks with these same difficulties?
Yes.
Come on, round 2. Oh my gosh, this dice. Got a 17. I'm so happy.
Ooh.
I got a 5.
So, Gilbert, you're thrashing about and you're just about to like look up to start swimming again. When you look over and your eyes lock with the orb, you don't really feel the need to breathe underneath the water anymore, but you do feel compelled to move towards the orb.
Okay.
Um,
Can he
uh,
resist in any way?
So this second toughness check was for that resistance as you guys got deeper into the water. Gorm, you see Gilbert's like demeanor change as his focus shifts towards this glowing orb. You don't really feel drawn to it, but by the look in Gilbert's eyes, it seems like he is.
So here's my question, because I have a vice grip on Gilbert's ankle. I have no idea how to swim. I would immediately, without guidance, just begin thrashing and sinking again.
Okay.
So if I'm seeing Gilbert not going towards the surface, which is where Gorm really wants to go, Gorm is looking up. He sees the distance, and he just has no idea how to traverse it. It's like if there was a ladder, but instead of rungs, it was just open, and people would step in it and just teleport up to him. That's how remote being able to swim is. So, which isn't too far off from my actual perception of swimming. So Gorm just like holding on to Gilbert's ankle, the only thing that's literally grounding him, he just begins to grab like Gilbert, just like pull and like try to shake him underwater in some sort of like action movie manner, and like slow motion slapping, like it's just, but it's like just water. Yeah.
All right. So with Gorm trying to shake Gilbert back, Gilbert, make a presence check.
Gilbert's just like in a complete trance, just like, whoo, and is like sort of, that kind of like full body like revulsion that you get when you've swallowed water and it's in the wrong pipe, just kind of like. Ugh.
So actually, I was going to say before you roll, but you can still use that result. Would Gilbert, as a person, like give in to that temptation, or would he try to fight it?
He would 100% try to fight it.
Okay, so you can use the result of that die roll.
He's a fighter. He rolled a natural 1.
Oh.
He's a fighter. He's a nat 1 fighter.
Yeah.
So, fighter right there.
in that moment, like Gorm, you see Gilbert's body like stop convulsing, having swallowed water, and he just kind of slowly starts swimming towards the glowing orb. Ernge, at this point, you have pushed Ernge the mule up onto the surface. What do you do?
So real quick, I'm just gonna say that Gorm would I wouldn't let go, because understanding again that he has no way to move through this. He doesn't understand how movement works underwater. Is still just holding on to Gilbert and shaking, but Gilbert is like slowly moving them towards the source. And Gorm he doesn't know how to swim. He's just shaking Gilbert, and Gilbert's just like, boo.
And Gilbert's like not a big guy. Like Gilbert's like, short king, 5'6". So he's like trying to like make it forward, but he's so weighed down by like the 2 swords that he usually wears at his hips, and like the heavy purple overcoat and the tall boot and all of that equipment, that he's basically in a load of laundry. Like we are sinking.
We are sinking. Yeah, Gorm is probably getting to the point where he's running out of air, so he's probably just like yelling, and there's just bubbles like.
So, drawing some inspiration from an experience I had last night playing Animal Crossing.
Did you save one of the animals from your island from drowning?
No, but I did chase a giant isopod around my island twice for 10 minutes, to the point that I was cursing at Animal Crossing. With the new swim feature, but like Ernge kind of sees those bubbles moving, very Animal Crossing-esque, and realizes, oh, that's not good. And with a mighty Ernge, he dives towards it and tries to dive down to catch them and bring them back up.
Okay, so as you submerge yourself underneath the water, you can see almost like unhuman-like movement from Gilbert as he just kind of slowly pushes his way through the water towards this glowing source underneath the lake. And you see a very panicked Gorm latched onto Gilbert's legs, screaming as bubbles fly from his mouth. So yeah, you start swimming down towards them. Real quick, Scrum, what are you doing? So Bob doesn't really tell you any new information. He's not an extra pair of eyes.
Can I see with my human eyes that everyone is going down
Yes,
towards this
yes.
light? I'm going to pull.
Bob relays that information to you, the things that you can very clearly see.
Let me
Yep.
just switch to my human eyes real quick. Let me just...
Yeah. So I'm going to pull Bob out of the water and go, "What did you see? They're swimming towards the light." And then I'm going to dive in
All right.
right after him.
Are you still holding Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
course.
like
I would
Green
never let
Lantern
go.
style.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like holding Bob like at the helm.
How great would it be
with the other arm.
if he didn't even kick or anything? He just put Bob out in front of him and just Green Lantern style Bob just pulls him through
Yeah.
the water.
Like Swiss Army Man style.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Scrum and Bob, after you plunge in, behind you, you hear the sound of Glenn having jumped in as well.
Okay.
So now there's just a whole party underneath the water. So Ernj, you are diving down towards them. And as Gilbert and Gorm are slowly wading towards this glowing object, you are able to reach them. They're not moving quickly, and you are just moving with all of your might. What do you do?
I'm gonna try to go down. Gorm is still holding on to Gilbert's like ankle, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to dive down to the point that I can grab like the collar of Gorm's shirt,
Okay.
and then like Gilbert's ankle, and drag them both to the surface.
Okay. So as this is happening, of course, time has passed. Gorm, can you make one more toughness check for me?
Come on, you haven't let me down yet. 3.
So as you've been thrashing and screaming, you have quickly run out of air in your lungs. And you see Ernj swimming down towards you. And in that moment, you just kind of gasp in excitement and also losing your breath. And you're a little bit lucky this time. You take 1 point of damage as you just intake some water. So as you grab Gorm's collar and Gilbert's ankle, just kind of shifting them about, Gilbert, make a presence check.
Oh, that's cocked. Hold on. Metal dice can get super cocked apparently. Presence?
Yes.
15.
Okay, so as you just feel something else grab your ankle and kind of move you elsewhere, you snap out of this daze, and you kind of realize that you haven't been breathing. Can you make a toughness check to just realize where you are and resist the urge to try to inhale?
Toughness?
Yes.
Another 15.
Okay, so you snap out of this and very quickly realize where you are and just seal your mouth shut. You look over your shoulder and see that Ernj has grabbed your ankle and is starting to swim towards the surface with you and Gorm in tow.
Sort of thinking and like collecting himself, like thinking about the note that's in his pocket, which is probably completely waterlogged, and like kind of patting at it. Can he like push all of the water out of his nose and mouth and like take a giant kick like towards the surface?
Yeah, certainly. So you're able to just reclaim your bearings, just exhale all of the water and start making your way to the surface. Scrum, what do you do? And don't forget to unmute yourself.
Do I see all of them swimming back up towards the surface?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to swim. How close am I to them?
At this point, 15 feet from Gilbert, probably.
Okay, I'm going to try to swim closer to them to start assisting dragging everyone back up to the surface.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to swim down. Are you helping Gilbert first, or are you going past him towards Ernj and Gorm?
Towards Gorm, because
Okay.
Gorm looks the most in danger.
So yeah, you start swimming down to them. And Ernj, given your current position, can you make a toughness check?
20.
So you very briefly feel like a pull towards this glowing orb, and you just shake it off almost immediately. You look up and see Scrum start heading down towards you. Gorm, what do you do?
Continue to try not to drown.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Gorm literally, when Gilbert, I think, perfectly summed up where Gorm is as a person right now, which is basically he's a weight of like heavy laundry. He understands he has no value here.
Okay, so can you make another toughness check for me?
Yeah. Water log. Day 6. A 5. It's
Cool.
better.
So you are being moved towards the surface slowly with Ernj pulling you, but you're still not doing so hot. You're feeling that pain from holding your breath underwater for a long time. You have some water that you've inhaled. And you continue to get really lucky. That's another 1 point of damage.
Right now, it turns out that Gorm was pretty thirsty. So right now it's just hydration.
Perfect.
Yeah. Which is
At least it's not salt water.
right.
Yeah.
Like nice, fresh, like spring. It's a Zephyr Hills situation.
It was
Yeah.
under
It's
the
like
ice.
a nice natural lake. Yeah.
Hydrate or dihydrate. It also, with this
There you
light
go.
here, it has like some circulation going.
hmm
So at this point, Glenn, As Kim
All
holds
of
up
us
her
are like,
beer.
oh yeah.
There's water involved in brewing beer.
Can confirm.
Alon, will you whisper the flavor of your drink from the next room so we can understand how it tastes?
That's how I get the flavor. My favorite LaCroix meme was the somebody eats the fruit and then burps into it right before they seal it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you whisper the flavor though to give my water some
Yeah,
spiciness?
I got this. I'm also French enough to whisper this one. Pamplemousse. Tss, pamplemousse.
It worked.
We've cracked the code. You are now a one-man LaCroix factory.
I already am. I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's true. That's true. I've seen it.
If I weren't on carpet, I would have just spit that water out across the room.
Oh no.
Do it. You won't. If anybody wants to see Oz spit water across the room, now's your time to make a donation to one of our nonprofits.
Yeah.
To our nonprofit.
So Glenn helps Gilbert reach the surface a little bit faster. He reaches out his hand, hoping that Gilbert will take it.
Gilbert will absolutely like clap his whole arm up on Glenn's elbow and sort of pull himself up.
So with Glenn's aid,
Buttering
he's able
and sopping wet all the way.
Perfect. With Glenn's aid, both of you are able to get back up to the surface.
Okay. Can he like turn around and sort of assist with the next people, like pulling everybody else up?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, with the way that I've been doing the turn order, yeah, you are up. I've just been going in a circle around how the Zoom displays on my screen, which is different for everyone's screen, apparently.
Yeah.
It is.
So yeah, you just catch your breath again, and then do you dive back into the water, or are you waiting until they get close to the surface to help them?
Waiting for them to like sort of get close enough so that he can like anchor himself on the ice and pull them up.
Okay. So, Ernj, what are you doing? I'm guessing you're heading back to the surface?
Orange is, swimming for the surface as fast as he can. At this point, he's adjusted his grip on Gorm and just like lifeguard style, like wrapped an arm underneath Orange's arms
Perfect.
and is dragging him to the surface.
All right. So, you both you and Gorm will be able to get to the surface, but for your time underneath water here, make a toughness check.
Me as well.
17.
17. So you're actually fine. And Gorm, actually, you end up being in good hands with the help of Glenn and Gilbert. God, Glenn, Gilbert, Gorm. You guys are able to get back up to the surface.
Yeah, Orange is in his Baywatch.
Just slow motion
It's
running.
like when he breaks the water like a large majestic whale and flips his hair back off of his metal mask, and I want to say as he comes out, there's just this burst of air out of his lungs. It's like Orange,
right? And he's backlit because of the light inside the lake. So it gives
and maybe the moon. Is it nighttime? I can't
Yes,
remember.
it is nighttime.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, the moon's
so
reflecting
it's
across.
just a majestic Orange breaching the surface with Gorm under his arm.
Meanwhile, Gorm gets thrown onto the ice or the ground that's solid, and just immediately begins to do he starts self Heimliching, thinking he's drowned, but he's still conscious, and he's just like blah, 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 and little bits of water come out, and then he's like, no wait, I'm dehydrated.
So somehow coming out of this water, this nice fresh water, Gorm is still just immaculately beautiful. And just even more clean than before.
If it was even possible.
If it were more possible.
Is he fully dry? He's got a fresh blowout? And, all
no,
that?
But somehow his hair looks amazing when it is wet.
Mm-hmm. He
came out of the water with the instant beach cramp.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The water droplets are like a natural highlight as the noon reflects off his cheekbones.
Mm-hmm.
So Scrum, you are the last one in the water. You are equidistant between the surface and the glowing object beneath you. What do you do?
Does the glowing object affect me in any way, or if I look over at it?
So you can feel the same pressure that you felt on the surface of that something urging you towards it, but you're not compelled to go towards it.
Okay. So I'm gonna turn Bob's head towards me and just look at it and then start swimming back towards the surface with everyone else.
Okay. So you make it to the surface, and my cat wants out of my room right now. Because she has excellent timing.
I thought that was you make it up to the surface, and then the god of the world looks down. There's a wild cat just looking over us all.
I'm trying to get her to come in here right now. Beans! Geen! Psst. She just walks away. She's rude as hell.
So, all of you are safely on the surface. The glow from the object is shining through the water behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert is holding his head in his hands from the blunt force trauma of smashing his skull on the ice earlier, and is kind of nursing a bruise and has a little cut, little blood sort of dribbling into the water droplets from the lake, and it's kind of sitting there soaking wet, looking very worse for wear, and wiping angrily all the water off of his body, and just goes, what the hell is going on?
Scrum's gonna look around at the party and go, well, I'm glad we decided to go for a swim. What did we learn?
He's just wringing the water out of his clothes, and is really mad that Scrum has got the best of him.
Gorm turns and kind of takes his hair, and he's pushing the water out, and he lets it go, and it has natural waves from just him pushing the water out.
You've got to do the little
back
and hair flip.
The water droplets go. There's a few that collected just underneath his eyes, and each one of them are reflecting the moon perfectly when he turns, and he's just
yeah, me too, bud. He's just kind of bringing his sleeves out.
Glenn is also. Oh, go ahead, Orange.
Orange is gonna go over, and is he closer to Gorm or is he closer to Gilbert?
You're probably closer to Gorm right now since he was attached to you.
So
but you guys are pretty much just lying in a circle around each other.
Orange, noticing the coughing, is gonna give Gorm a few hard smacks on the back, try and knock it out, get him, and he's just like, pull it together, man.
Yeah,
Urch.
the third smack, like a very small sized fish comes out and like, flops back into the water.
It like wiggles like on
Yeah.
the surface of the
And
water.
Gorman-
again,
It's like-
again, like Animal Crossing, it just goes pop, and just
And Gorm's just like,
So the most important part about that is that you guys didn't see any fish in the lake, so Gorm was just saving that for later. So Glenn is also just wringing out his hair and trying to like form it back into the long widow's peak that he has in the center of his face.
I love that Glenn has like the death metal like deathlock like
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. My hair's too curly.
is
for
his
that.
last name Danzig?
You finally got my reference. You have finally got my reference. Thank you.
Excuse my witch cackle. Oh my god.
I just got rid of my hiccups, and you're gonna bring them back.
If you wanna hiccup, then hiccup with me now.
Did you see that he released a Elvis cover album?
Of course you did. That's on brand.
It's
That is-
really weird. It's
that's
not
trust.
terrible, which is surprising.
Maybe check it out. Maybe that's next week's song of the week.
Yeah, Glenn Danzig covering some Elvis.
As they're kind of sitting there, Gilbert like shrugging off like his heavy coat and like twisting it like a giant towel.
Yeah.
Like to get the water out of it. He's just gonna be like, did anyone else feel like that orb was particularly interesting? And like wrings some water out and like shakes it with a big snap. Feels like that thing was trying to get me to come to it, and all I saw were just the faces of the dead.
Ern shrugs as he's petting his mule, and like using a scrap piece of clothing to like dry it off because it's cold outside, despite the fact that his clothes are wet, but he's doing his best. And just Ernch. Can't relate.
Rum is just getting blasted in the face by the water that is being shaken off. And he's just like,
Gilbert goes, sorry bud, and like moves over to like snap it in the other direction.
Glenn, just like trying to get the water off of him, says maybe that was what we felt up here on the surface.
Probably so. I don't know how it connects to what was going on inside the schoolhouse. If there's some connection between dust children and some lost souls in the river Styx here.
Glenn, under his
Maybe.
breath, quietly says, it's a lake.
Maybe if we go towards the light, we can find out what happened to the children.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. I mean, I can't get any wetter. And it's just kind of like laying out his coat and like reaches into his pocket. Is the note in there?
Yeah, the note.
Is it still legible?
So you pull out the letter and the ink has just run as the paper is completely waterlogged.
Holding that like wet, sopping mass of paper in his hands, and like watching it kind of like disintegrate in the way the wet paper kind of does as you like unfold it and it
Yeah.
like tears accidentally. He's gonna like fold it back up as best he can and like pat it like a little dry and just like puts it back in his coat. Like he's not gonna discard it, he's just gonna keep it even if it's destroyed.
Gorm is trying to set out his individual corns of pepper from his pocket so they can dry out as well. He understands your loss.
It wasn't milled pepper, it's like pre-milled like black
Yeah.
peppercorns.
Yeah.
Maybe they can sublimate in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well your pocket pepper's doing, but
It's not doing great. Yeah.
His pockets are gonna taste really good though.
So well.
Yeah, at this point
spiced.
they've marinated. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny
Very
because
well seasoned.
around him usually is this like glowy, like clean, sort of idealistic light that just sort of emanates off of him. But in the water, it was just like a cloud of dark pepper.
It's pepper
as it-
cloud. Yeah.
Pepper cloud.
It's how he keeps predators away.
You'd think that the smell would attract them, but no, it just makes them sneeze.
I mean, have you
Um,
ever seen a predator sneeze? It's adorable.
Mhm.
That's true.
I now realize that my way of describing Gorm is a beautiful, well-seasoned man.
Well seasoned, well seasoned. Sort of thinking about what Scrum said, Gilbert's gonna like take off one of his shoes and like shake it out like on the surface of the lake, and like put it to the side, and take off the other boot and like do the same, like shake the sand out of it and like put it to the side.
Yeah.
And sort of like wade into the edge of the lake again and try and get a better look at this orb. Does it seem like there's anything that like we could retrieve, or like any object that it seems to contain? Does it just seem to be like a light source, like a light bulb like underneath the lake, or does it seem to have like a form in it?
So it definitely seems like there is something solid inside of the light and the moving shadows. I'm loving this angle of Ben's beard. It's real good.
It looks really dense. You got a good growth pattern going on there.
You're muted, bud.
You muted.
It's pretty thick, and it's got this crease from when I wear my mask.
Oh yeah. The like whoop.
Dude, when I wear a mask, whenever I take it off, my mustache is just like it's
Yeah.
There's no definite. It's just like it was blown out.
To be fair,
It's the
so
absolute
my
worst.
mustache does the same thing
Right?
a lot.
Oh,
I'll
thank
tell
you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the
Yeah,
only one.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Sort of like staring at this shape. Is there any way that I could like make like a informed guess, knowing that Gilbert has been kind of closest to it of the party? Is there any way that he could guess what the shape is?
So just from the silhouette and from when you were closer to it before you like were entranced by it, it seemed spherical.
Getting Michael Crichton up in here. It's my
Is,
dated reference so people can know I'm old.
Good. It's a good reference. Sort of considering going to get it.
Yeah.
Gorm, you can't swim, right?
No.
Can either of you swim?
Orange nods.
You confident swimmer? Are either of you good swimmers?
No.
Grumble shrug.
Orange is a strong swimmer because he's just strong.
He's
His
strong
form
and he's a swimmer.
Yeah. He's strong and he knows how to swim. I was really hoping I was going to get a cat in my lap just now, and it didn't happen. She walked away from me.
Well,
Womp.
do you want to tail me? I'm going to try and get it.
Orange nods, and he gives the mule a pat on the face, and he pets the dog, and lets the dog know that it needs to stay on shore and keep an eye on the others.
Does anybody have a length of rope?
Did Orange just tell the dog was Orange like, you're the man of the house while I'm gone?
Basically, that's what he said. The dog is the most responsible one left on shore.
Right.
So, and naturally he said this with a very firm urge.
Mm-hmm.
And a scratch on the chin. The rat's gonna help, maybe.
Okay. The rat sits on your shoulder and sort of like digs his little nails in, like. Does anybody have a length of rope or something that like Gilbert could tie around like his ankle and like anchor to Orange at all. I don't have a rope.
Scrum will.
Oh wait, I do have rope. I have 30 feet of rope. Would 30 feet of rope work?
Scrum won't do anything.
So what are you trying to do with the rope again? Sorry.
I'm trying to. Gilbert is gonna like get out this rope and tie it to his ankle, and seeing that Scrum was kind of like had the same idea, is gonna like toss the rope to Scrum and say, "Hey, would you tie this to Orange for me?"
Scrum will give a very weak thumbs up and start wrapping the rope around Orange's leg.
He's like, wicka wicka, rope,
Rope.
dope rope.
Dope. I guess, I mean, with this rope around his ankle, Gilbert's gonna dive for it. Gonna
All
go
right.
for the thing.
Yeah. And so then Orange, are you just following from behind?
Yeah, Orange will follow from behind.
Okay.
Or maybe swim next to seems safer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the orb is 45 feet underneath the surface. As you guys are swimming towards it, putting in just your full action towards moving it, you can get towards it this round. But actually, yeah, Orange, you rolled very high on your first time going down there, and Gilbert, you feel like, both of you feel like an attraction towards it, like the compelling that you felt on the surface, but you're not being drawn to it like Gilbert was before. But you're able to swim down, and you can see this orb about this large, like slightly smaller than a basketball, just glowing as these faces that look like the faces of children circling around the orb. As you get closer, you can hear these sounds of like distant whispering. Sounds like it's coming from the orb, but it is just faint and quiet.
Does it look like they're the same children as were within the schoolhouse?
It's hard to tell because they were moving around just quickly and there are so many of them. So it's hard to really relate the faces of the children to the stone faces.
Is that distant whisper whispering fruit flavors? And was this lake flavorful?
Gorm, to you, the lake does taste like pamplemousse.
Very excited.
That's why it's murky. It's because it's carbonated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true. Sort of like reaching out his hands and like feeling this strange compulsion. Can Gilbert like pick up this orb?
So as you're reaching out to it, you see almost like the echoes of your hands, like these ghostly whispers of your hands reach out to the orb. You can see just your like echoes of your entire body in front of you as you move. But you are able to put your hands on the orb and move it.
Gilbert's gonna try and just pick it up and like football it, like tuck it under his arm.
Okay.
And turn around and fly up.
Okay. So because you had the intent of going underneath the water, you weren't thrown underneath it. Both of you will be able to make it back up to the surface with the orb in tow without taking damage.
Okay.
Nice.
Gilbert's gonna like turn around and like point, like in the slow motion underwater way, like point at the orb and like point at Orange and do like and like try and swim his way up to the surface.
Orange nods and just starts like going for it to get back to the surface. Like
he's leading now.
Like if he has to drag Gilbert back up again, he'll do it.
So Orange, you definitely see like echoes of Gilbert's face and body and hands like move towards the orb. Just like, you know how when you move in a strobe light and you can see like the words behind it almost like that, but just kind of going towards the orb in the purple light created by it.
And Orange kind of registers that as like that's weird. And then just as soon as Gilbert has it, just goes to the surface. He's not about to think, he's not going to think deeply about it.
Gilbert
ever.
starts to like rage also, like as he like goes up is like voguing like to the strobe like light.
Darude Sandstorm is playing from
Yes.
the orb.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's funny. I sent that to my brother last night while he was streaming.
And also, that's as much of Darude Sandstorm as we can sing before getting flagged. So,
It's true.
so yeah, both of you and the orb make it to surface.
Okay. Can he like pull it out of the water like no problem? It just sort of comes out and it's just like a big marble or what are
It's
we looking at?
essentially a big marble.
Okay. Is there anything inside it like holding it out like in front of him? And showing the crew what
Do we get
perceive?
out of the water first, like onto shore?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Ernst is just like, Ernst sees Gilbert like moving to show off, and he's just like, Ernst, and he just grabs him.
Gilbert
And,
100% is trying to like
Yeah.
be mighty.
And Ernst just like scoops him and heads to shore and just carries him out of the water like under his arm.
Gilbert is relatively small and folds like a wet paper towel.
Yeah, I mean,
Like a wet lover's note.
and Ernst is large, so he just carries him out.
So then when Gilbert's out of the water, does he continue invisible oranging it?
So looking straight at the orb, now that it is outside of the water, the whispers, the nonsensical whispers are louder and the light is much brighter. Staring directly at the orb, it's just really bright to look at and not really great just to stare at. But I mean, you can stare at the sun if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. You can stare at this too.
Gilbert's staring at it. Like Gilbert is 100% like too stupid to like figure out that this might cause irreparable eye damage.
Is there
And
any
it's like
is there any warmth coming off of it, or is it just light?
Nope, just light. And all of the rest of you now on the surface see these strange echoes of Gilbert kind of like pulsating towards the orb. But yeah, staring at it, and it seems as if the faces and the shapes and shadows will like oscillate from inside the orb and out and around it.
What do we do with this, guys?
Scrum is going to avert his gaze from the orb.
Actually, Scrum, you're the only one that hasn't been exposed to it yet. Can you make a toughness check for me?
Dope, sure.
Scrum averts
That's
his
a natural 20.
Oh, yeah. You know, you're fine. You feel like the slight force compelling you towards it, but you have no interest, spiritual or otherwise, to touch it.
Dope.
It's just not your type.
Yeah, you've seen better orbs.
Ernst is gonna is Gilbert's coat still on the ground?
Yeah.
Ernst is gonna pick that up and like noticing how like there are reflections of Gilbert going towards it and just that it's very bright and whatnot. He's gonna take the coat and kind of walk up and like scoop the coat, like scoop up the orb inside the coat.
So as you get closer to it, all of the rest of you see these similar echoes of Ernst kind of going towards the orb. And as you throw the coat over it, the light has been like muted, of course. But to those of you that are directly next to it, Gilbert and Ernst, you can still see like the echoes of you moving towards it.
Ooh.
So Ernst is just gonna take this bundled orb and he's gonna carry it up the bank a little bit, like away from the water, and just set it down in the snow and step back from it.
Be careful with my coat, please. And he's gonna like kind of like trip and follow Ernst. He does this. Can you remind me, DM, what happened at the top of the tower with us? Like there wasn't anything in the bell tower of the schoolhouse, was there?
No, the bell was just rusted and old and corroded, and it hardly made a sound upon striking it.
Right. Okay.
Was that not the answer you wanted?
I'm nothing. I'm thinking. I'm doing the D&D brain flex right now.
Orange is gonna like ignore Gilbert's complaints about his coat and just grab him by the collar of his shirt and drag him back away from the orb.
This has been the episode of Random Noises.
Yeah.
Gilbert's fussy.
And he really wants Gilbert to know that like the coat is not such a big deal right now. The orb seems to be an issue, and he's just going to give him a hard pat on the shoulder and convey all of this with a very stern urge.
Gilbert takes the hard pat in stride and just sort of goes, I know. And sort of crosses his arms and kicks a leg out and goes, so I got it for us. Here we are. I don't know why it made me feel like I needed it, but I really felt like I needed it, so it's here.
Don't name it. We're not keeping it.
Glenn chimes in and says, you don't want to get attached to that thing.
If anything, we could name it Orange. That seems to be the thing to name animals.
Orange just crosses his arms and like shakes his head slowly.
Gilbert kind of realizes that his joke was perhaps insensitive to the animals and goes, I'm sorry. And like kneels down to like pet dog Orange, who's I'm sure orbiting all of our ankles at this time.
Yeah, he's trying to lick you guys dry to the best he can.
The dog and the mule are both trying to lick the party dry. I would like to add that the mule is doing this as well. The rat knows better.
Perfect.
Glenn says, I don't know what that thing is, but nothing good can come from it.
I've always been told, don't go to the light. And what else could that be?
I mean, do you think that I shouldn't have pulled it out of the lake? Because it didn't seem to be very difficult to get.
He just shakes his head and says, I have no idea. I don't know what we should do with it.
I think we should throw it back in the lake. Somebody obviously put it there for a reason.
Gilbert kind of second guesses, I guess, pulling this thing out of the lake, but is gonna kind of double down on his decision making and think like, I think you might be right, but we could investigate it first and sort of figure out what the hell it was compelling us for. I mean, I'm the one that was injured from it, and he sort of like rubs the little like bruise on his forehead.
Gorm pulls up his shirt where he has a bruise on his sternum from where the forehead collided, and Gorm
and Scrum also has a gnarly bruise on his forehead.
Yeah,
for sure.
And also,
DM, did you say that? Can we still hear the voices?
Yes.
Even though the orb has been wrapped up?
So once it's been wrapped up, the voices are a little bit muted as well.
Do they sound like they're just wrapped in a bag kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah. They were louder when you pulled it out of the lake than they were in the lake.
Slightly muffled.
Slightly quieter
pamplemousse.
Yeah, Gorm is just like what is studying it gonna get us? If this school was studying it, is it gonna turn us all into stone? Is it gonna make us bad at math? I don't want that.
Maybe it seemed like when I was underneath the water that it was full of children. It seemed to be the source of their demise, and I feel like maybe if we could somehow connect this evil orb thing with these perfectly innocent lives that were lost in the schoolhouse, then perhaps we can figure out how to restore something, or at least connect some dots before we move on from this place.
Didn't we just high five all of them into ash?
We might have.
Oops.
With a soft orange.
just hand on the shoulder, and he's like, orange?
Glenn, with a worried look on his face, says, maybe we should destroy it.
We could.
Scrum says,
Before we do that,
and he walks over briskly and snatches the bag with the orb in it, and he starts walking towards the school, towards the bell tower.
That's my coat. He like goes and follows.
Okay.
So my goal here is to get to the bell tower and place the orb inside of the bell to see
Okay.
what happens with the voices.
Gorm wants nothing to do with this. And it makes it real clear by saying, Gorm wants nothing to do with this. And turns and just walks a little ways and like starts like setting out he starts gathering up some like wood. Maybe he drags one of those desks outside to start a fire.
Yeah, that'll be drier than any of the wood you'd find in the woods around you.
Right, so he can dry his clothes. And is just like, if you all want to play with evil, I've played with evil, and it doesn't play nice, because it's evil. He's yelling up at the bell tower.
Gilbert is just kind of like doing the like I hear you like kind of thing behind him, and is just like blindly doing like the little short man jog behind Scrum as Scrum walks up to the bell tower, and it's gonna go with him.
Gorm continues to just like loudly talk to himself, subtweeting everyone.
So, of course, you pass the sites that you passed before, all 6 rooms, the corpse, the door with the burnt markings on it behind him, and you climb up the stairwell up to the bell tower. There is the aforementioned corroded, rusty old bell. And, yeah, what do you do?
I'm gonna note Ernj is waiting downstairs.
Okay.
He wasn't sure which friend group to choose between. Like, should he follow the 2 up to the bell tower, or should he stay down with Gorm? Like, he's torn. So he's down on the first floor, like hovering in the doorway.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so Scrum, what do you do? Unmute yourself, bud.
Classic.
So Scrum is leading the charge up to the bell tower. Yeah, classic Scrum. In the Save Against Disease hydration game, every time I leave myself on mute, take a drink of water.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Yeah, Scrum's going to lead the charge up to the bell tower and just kind of at a brisk pace, get up as close as he can. And have I reached the bell tower yet?
Yeah.
The bell? Okay. I'm going to unsheath the orb and kind of averting the eyes and just kind of hold the orb under the bell and see what happens with the voices and the light.
What were you holding as your orb replacement?
I was holding it in the jacket.
No, I mean,
I don't know. IRL.
What object?
I have a pair of pliers that I'm squeezing like grip things.
And he has his gunpla pieces.
Oh, were they gunpla pieces? I thought it was a gunpla
Yeah.
board.
So yeah, you hold the orb up underneath the bell. The voices, the whispers, of course, are louder than they were when they were muffled by the coat, louder than in the lake. And as you put it underneath the bell, the voices just echo down or projected down beneath the bell tower. The light kind of fills up the bell and shines through the cracks on it. It's like the classic speaker when you don't have a speaker, just putting your phone in one of
the
like
cup.
these serving dishes. Yeah.
Anything else exciting happen?
I mean, the whispers sure are louder now.
Can I make out what the whispers are saying?
They're all just still talking over each other, and
Oh.
it's kind of non-distinct.
It's like
So-
discordant.
Someone needs to just be like, if you can hear me, clap once.
I'm just gonna yell into the orb.
hey, shut up, one at a time.
It doesn't make a difference. The whispers
Alright.
continue as they have been.
All right. In which case, yeah,
Gilbert?
experiment complete.
Gilbert is gonna like walk up behind Scrum and sort of like seeing all this go down. I was gonna say, do you think we should destroy it?
Scrum, after kind of looking around for a second, is just like,
Not yet.
I think it's creepy. Like I think it's freaking creepy. But I don't.
with his other hand, Scrum is going to pull Bob out, who is nodding along like, yes, this is creepy for sure.
Now being used to the Bob involvement, Gilbert
involvement.
like also nods the involvement.
The Bob
Gilbert
bobbing.
also, yeah, Bob. Gilbert kind of nods and goes, "Yeah, I think we should keep it for now." Do you mind holding on to it? Do you want to go back down?
Sure, why not? I stuffed the orb back into the bag.
I want to try one more thing, though. Do you mind coming with me to that corpse at the bottom of the stairs?
Why not? And Bob nods.
Okay. Going down to the corpse at the bottom of the stairs, which I believe is the only body left.
Yes.
Does proximity of orb to body seem to have any effect?
No, it does not.
Is there any like walking like from classroom to classroom or like down this hall? Does it seem to have any effect? Like, does the orb seem to like call into a room? Like having felt this like compulsion before, does it feel like the orb is compelling Gilbert into any corner as Scrum holds it? Like, is it sort of telling us anything at all as it's in the building?
So as you walk past each door, and the closer that you get to each door, it seems that the faces are less nebulous, and it seems that they are pointing in the direction of the door. It also seems like fewer are spiraling, depending on which door you are standing next to.
Scrum, hold up. Come with me. And like Gilbert's gonna open one of the doors to one of the classrooms that the kids were in, that they were in first.
Okay.
And is gonna like motion for the orb. Be like, do you see this? And like ask Scrum to sort of pull the orb into one of the classrooms.
Scrum is going to like fully extend his arm and kind of like place the orb.
Is Scrum
like,
doing the
door
Michael
just-
Jordan right now?
yeah, with the tongue out, and just like holding it like just past the door entry to see what happens.
So just holding it through the threshold of the door, it seems that like 7 or 8 faces are kind of circling around the orb. Not the many that were before. The whispers are very loud coming from them, but still all just talking over each other. You can't really make anything out in particular.
Okay, I'm gonna slowly walk into the classroom and hold the orb over one of the now piles of dust and ash.
One face just like spurs out of the orb and is just circling around it as it's above one of the piles of ash.
You're showing the kids what we did to them.
Hey, they don't know we did this. Can I hear just the one voice, or are there still several whispers?
So the whispering, it seems to be coming from one source.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as if like the best way I can describe it, the way that it sounds, is that one episode of Twin Peaks where it's the people speaking backwards and then it's recorded backwards.
Oh.
So it almost sounds like actual words, but it's so hard to make out.
And we can see the faces, right? Or just the one face at this point?
Yes.
I'm going to hold it. Oh, I'm going to point down to the pile of dust and go, "Was this your body? Blink once if yes."
So it doesn't really respond in any way coherent to your order. It's kind of still circling around the orb, just its mouth moving, whispers coming out of it.
Blink twice if no. Blink 182 if ska pop.
Incredible.
Gilbert, it's doing something. Figure this out. You're the smart one.
What is it doing? What is it doing? And Gilbert kind of comes over and like notices that it's just the one like chanting child. And he like picks up some ash in his hand and like dusts it on the orb like a little pepper.
Like the salt guy.
Like Salt Bay.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, you season this orb. Some dust accumulates on it, some rolls off the sides of it.
Please don't call the ash of children seasoning.
I'm so sorry. I can't believe you thought I was the smart one. And Gilbert is just kind of standing there, confronted with the grisly reality of this situation. And sort of goes, I don't know what it wants, but it's very clear that these kids are in this orb, and should we break it and free them?
There's a good idea. And Scrum is just going to throw the orb straight down onto the ground.
Okay. So yeah, you just throw it on the ground. Lonely Island style.
This orb's not my
dad's
dad.
not a cell phone.
The orb shatters in a bright blast of purple light. For both Gilbert and Scrum, can you guys make presence checks?
Yeah.
I get -2 to the challenge rating on presence checks, which doesn't help with my 9. Oh, +1, 10.
Oh, well. What did you get, Gilbert?
Can I use an omen?
Yeah.
Or am I supposed to say that I'm using an omen before I roll?
No, you do it after.
Yeah, that's what we decided on.
I would like to use my omen to reroll.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It was presence, right?
Yes.
Okay. It was better the first time. So he has a 3.
So as this orb just shatters and just this bright flash of purple light, so Gorm, you can see the light fill the windows of the schoolhouse even from outside. Ernst, you're just in the hallways of the schoolhouse, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm like in the front door, like standing in the front door.
So yeah, you see this bright flash of light from one of the rooms in the back of the hall. And right after the light, you see just a couple dozen what seem to be like spirits of children fly throughout the schoolhouse. Some of them going into some rooms, some of them going into others. Gilbert and Scrum, it's like you've just been hit by a flashbang. Your ears are ringing. It's just like everything slowly coming back into vision. Gilbert, you have been knocked off your feet from the blast. You don't take any damage, but they're just so dazed.
Okay.
In a couple of moments, as your eyesight starts to come to, looking around the room, in this particular room, there are 7 spirits floating around the room, each one kind of floating above a pile of ash, looking forlorn.
Oh no.
We might have screwed up.
We might have done this out of order. Can Gilbert kind of approach one of them?
Yeah. So the spirit is just kind of looking down at the pile of ash below it, and it doesn't really acknowledge you.
Hello? And Gilbert's gonna like put out his hand and like try and like ghost it through.
So yeah, your hand just goes straight through the spirit, then the ghost does not react.
Scrum, do you think we really screwed up?
Oh, just a little bit.
So with that, I'm gonna say we're gonna go on break.
Ooh, okay.
We're a little bit past that hour-and-a-half mark. It is 5:40 right now. We will be back at 5:50.
Guys, I think we screwed up pretty bad.
Guys, we messed up. We messed up big time.
You better not have named it. I don't care how bright it gets.
All right, everyone, we'll be right back.
Oh my
All right.
god, it's just another horror for this world too. Like, well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. BRB.
All right, everyone, we'll be back to the action in just a moment.
I hope everybody enjoyed the screensaver that Brandon made for Quid Pro Roll that we had in the background there.
I can't hear you for some reason.
That's trouble. Hey, Ben, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, good. It's great news.
Can Oz not hear you?
No. Can you hear Ben?
Can you hear me, Oz? Oz, turn mute off your computer.
How about Kim? Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, good. It's just the least important party member.
So what I'll do is I'll just turn up my volume really, really loud and
leave
open
and
the
then come
door,
back and
and
see what fixes my audio
everyone
problems.
just yell.
Hold on, I can hear Oz.
I can hear Oz, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he can't hear us.
He can't hear
Kim,
us.
Kim, can you tell him to turn mute off his computer?
He just.
I like how
I could scream it down the hall.
I like how you were saying that, Ben, like this, as if Kim's sitting right next to you. You're like, hey, Kim.
And it's funny because he's down here for me. There we go.
There we
Everybody
go.
point at Oz so we can all see where he is in our frames. Oh. Ooh, lots of down. Oz likes to stay on the down low.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Oz, you can hear us now, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Hey, I think something that we should tell everybody right before we jump back into it is we are going to be doing more Mörk Borg, more campaigning. But as we're jumping back into it, please keep an eye on the Twitter page, which is at
Disease save.
Disease Save, at Disease Save on the Twitter, because next week is going to be a little bit of a toss up on if we have our show or not. We're going to do our best, but we're going to also do our best even more so to keep you posted. And we are really excited to be getting the campaign back, and we're also excited to be raising money for
The NAACP Bail Fund in support of Black Lives Matter.
NAACP. They're doing some amazing stuff on local levels as well as on international or national levels. I don't know about international levels. I'm not that well connected or that well caught up on news, but yeah, they're doing some great stuff. I know here in Richmond, and more than that, I'm just excited to be able to connect with all of you again, and all of our viewers from all over the place. Thank you guys again for your patience while we kind of took our short hiatus. We really appreciate it. Little heart.
Thank you, guys. I don't know why you got really little.
I just
Well,
felt because I'm doing little hearts, so I feel
they're
like I should
tiny
be
hearts.
smaller for it. Yeah.
You could do the
You
bigger
have good,
hearts.
Ben. You have amazing little heart thumbs.
Oh my
like you've
gosh.
got.
Ooh.
Look at.
You heart thumb model. You never told us.
It's almost like he's into idol culture.
Yeah, it's not like me and my girlfriend listen to K-pop every day of our lives, and that's not like a thing they do.
Will you give me those K-bops?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you one of the foreign insurgents?
I am one of the
Is that what we're calling the Riders of the Apocalypse these days?
oh, what did the guy called BTS? The something socialist.
Foreign operatives or something.
Yeah,
What?
big time
Yeah.
socialist. That's what they were
Big
called.
time
socialist,
socialist.
Oh my God, that's good.
BTS.
I have so
time.
many middle schoolers who never realized that they were foreign operatives. They just didn't know.
Start 'em young.
And now,
The activation word has been sung.
apparently, yeah. I mean, they're winter soldiers in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, just real like start 'em young, sleeper agent style.
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, it's those 85-pound 13-year-olds are dangerous. You know.
Yeah.
Super
know?
dangerous.
Judo
And-
masters.
Mhm.
Just say like one of the idols' names in front of them, and then you get like a swarm of them. Because they're not dangerous individually. It's like when they
you
all
just
start
have
coming.
to you just have to hashtag it. And then
Yeah.
See,
suddenly it's
See, Ben, I disagree. If I pick up an 85-pound 13-year-old and start swinging it around, it's dangerous individually.
Steven, that's the combined power of you and an 85 pound
Can-
My
Can-
favorite,
BTS stan.
can confirm that's what teachers do in the teachers lounge.
my favorite thing.
It's
So,
lightsabers.
I don't know too much. I don't know too much about the BTS and the K-pop idol world, but my favorite thing has been the news of social activism from them over the last couple of months. And
Yeah.
just to I delved in because I was curious, but just to see the headlines alone was like, what a great world. Like, I've been thinking we were not in the best reality, but look at these headlines.
Yeah. Have you seen
This is going to be in a history book someday.
Yeah.
the
I love it.
BTS army
So
coming
good.
after and just completely overloading
and
local servers.
literally one day teaching children, and I hope that I get to be in the classroom when this happens to explain that the BTS army was not an actual military.
It was the BTS army is the only non-standing military.
Yes.
And
Yeah, exactly.
ultimately the only military that matters.
Mhm.
The military that we should fund is the BTS army.
Mhm.
Because they all have to buy the limited edition glow wands.
Right.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, we just
And
got
those probably, I don't know, but those probably, the batteries probably run out. You got to go and get some.
That's a
Gotta
standing
get the
order.
limited edition BTS batteries that go with the light sticks.
Gosh, I love it. I love it so much. I briefly got too deep into To Anyone.
I'm an NCT 127 loser.
Mm-hmm,
I
I
like
tried listening to.
There it is. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so Ben, this is
also,
excellent information about you individually as a
I hate to
person.
interrupt. But Tim, thank you so much for the $50 donation.
Tim,
Yeah.
I love
Woo,
you.
Tim, thank you.
Tim, thank you.
Cheer.
Very, very recently, me and Nimble Nor, my friend who is a reporter out of Louisville, who I went to go see the weekend that this all sort of broke and
Yeah.
protests sort of erupted across the country.
and across the world.
Yeah. As that was unfolding, and they were getting like calls from all of their reporter friends with breaking news downtown in Louisville, we had shot some cosplay that weekend and decided to do a fundraiser towards a Black trans charity called Southern Fried Queer Pride. And they operate a community center out of Atlanta. And Tim was so generous and donated to that as well. Tim, your prints have been sent there in the mail. They should be in your arms in the next 2 weeks, provided all customs forms were done correctly. And if they weren't, it's on me because I've never mailed something internationally before. But they're on their way. And thank you for supporting us as we took on that endeavor as well.
I know we've had a couple of viewers international, and all I can say is so grateful that you all not only tune in to watch this silly stream that we have a lot of fun doing, but also support. I know we've had some support for some of the Goblins and Growlers stuff from some international audience members, and just the fact that you guys are supporting kind of all the stuff that's going on here in the States means so much. As somebody who very recent immigrant, I think there's just, it feels so great to know that we're all tearing down some old notions of like borders dividing people and things like that, and I'm just very grateful, very warm. It's all y'all. Oh wait, get small. Yeah. So Oz, what happened in this first half here?
So real quick on the topic of sending things out, between our move and everything that's been so busy, we will be sending out the porcelain cicadas very soon to those winners. There's just been so much going on. It's been tough.
It's cicada season right now.
It is. So to our winners of those raffles, we'll be sending those out shortly.
As I
But
try to pull them out of the desk here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
so to recap the first half of this session, our players struggled with being plunged into the icy depths, were able to get out and recover, and also find the source of the light and the odd whispers from underneath the lake. It's a very large marble. It's a big marble, just shining bright purple light that appears to have souls trapped inside of it. As Gilbert and Scrum brought the light, the orb, into the schoolhouse by Mirror Lake, it seemed to shine in different ways next to some of the classrooms. And upon breaking the orb, spirits of the children that were lost to the schoolhouse were spread throughout the schoolhouses and would just hover and look sad atop their piles of ash where their bodies once stood. And that's
Gosh,
where we left off.
what
I
a
think
sad
that,
start.
The last words were, "We really screwed up, didn't we?"
Orange would have seen this from the front door. These
Yeah.
souls go different places. How about the body that was at the base of the stairs to the bell tower?
So it is still dead.
Well, but is there a soul over it?
Still, there is not.
Okay. So Orange is going to go into the classroom where he took the artwork
Uh-huh.
and go to is there a soul kind of over the desk where he took the artwork?
Yes.
Okay, he's gonna go over to it and he kind of looks from the soul to the empty desk back to the soul, and he's gonna pull the artwork out of the book that he stored it in, and he's gonna
Alright.
put it back on the desk.
Okay.
And just kind of pat it.
So the soul, it doesn't really respond. It doesn't react. It just stays floating there above the pile of ash, looking sad.
So he kind of looks at the soul expectantly for a minute, and then when it doesn't react, he takes the artwork back and puts it back in his book.
Okay. So what do the rest of you do?
Is there a way that we could resuscitate these bodies at all? And Gilbert is gonna kind of like squeeze the hem of his tunic like into his hand and like pour the water like on the ash and see if like that.
You're trying to
does anything.
rehydrate it like it's a dehydrated fruit.
Yeah.
Scrumble's still looking for a broom.
Well, now you have a pile of damp ash in front of you.
And there's
Delicious.
still the child soul.
Yeah.
I love that we're doing the extended metaphor of the like do something and see if somebody applauds. Like, child, are you less sad? More sad?
Oh, child.
Art? Water? What do you want from me?
Do you want a nap? Do you want some water? Are you hungry?
you
Do you want some
tired?
art?
Do you need to use
you want
the
a color?
restroom?
So at this point, from behind Orange, the front door is opened, and you hear Glenn shout, "What happened in here? What was that?"
I dropped the orb.
You can hear his heavy footsteps as he walks down the hallway, and he peers through the door into the room that you're in. And his eyes go wide as he looks around the room at just the spirits floating above the piles of ash.
I dropped it pretty hard.
He smashed it.
Ba-doop, ba-doop. Ba-ba-doop, ba-doop.
Drop the orb.
Drop the orb.
I don't know if we can get these kids to go back to their bodies because we might have dusted all of them. and Gilbert is kind of like uncomfortably like shifting from side to side and is like picking up his coat off of the ground and pulling glass shards out of it where it was dropped with the orb.
No, I think that you just dropped the orb, not in the coat, right?
Oh no.
Oh, you're talking about from it shattering?
Yeah.
No, there's not too much glass in your coat. It's more just on the floor.
He like picks it up and sort of shakes it out and goes, well, another misery on this earth. Don't know what there is to do. Glenn, is there anything that we can do here to fix things? Do you know?
And he just like looks around the room in bewilderment. It's like I don't know. I don't know how long they've been dead, but I have something that might be able to help.
What do you have? What could you possibly have to help them? It seems like their bodies are completely gone.
Why were you holding out on us?
Well, I had no idea what to expect. Are any of you able to read magic scrolls by chance?
I mean, I can read.
Well, he kind of shuffles through his backpack, and he has this just old scroll that's practically crumbling in his hands. Says that I found this quite some time ago. It's told me that it's a scroll of essentially being able to see through dead's eyes. I haven't been able to make use of it. I was wondering if anyone here could. It might be good for the situation.
Let's put everybody's head together on this. Scrum, will you get Orange? I'll go get Gorm.
Fine. I'll go off to go get Gorm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get Gorm
Or
from
Urge.
outside. Yeah, we're gonna gather everybody in this classroom.
Okay.
As you're going out to get Gorm, he's just like, and another thing, who's gonna walk the orb? Who's gonna feed it? I'm not gonna give it any of my lard.
Gorm. Hey,
Yes.
the orb is gone.
Oh, good, great.
We smashed it.
Oh, it's perfect.
Kids came out of it.
That sounds not great.
Not great. But we've got like a scroll. It's magic. Do you want to come? Could use your advice. You can read.
Why
right?
are we?
So, quick question
We
for
can
the
just
DM.
move on. We can just keep walking. As soon as we
Well-
get into the magic, after we've already gotten, I would say knee deep, but I almost drowned. Why are we?
I mean, I almost drowned too. I'm sorry for dragging you with me, but you know, if I feel like just come with me. There's kids, and Gilbert seems to kind of like shuffle uncomfortably again. He's like very uncomfortable with the idea that they like abandon the situation, I think.
Does he feel uncomfortable with that he like poured some water into the instant kid potato?
He isn't uncomfortable with the gore as much as he is uncomfortable with like their like abandoning humanity
with
completely.
the sad souls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorm walks with Gilbert. And he just follows behind him, and he's just like, why?
I know. We'll do this, and then we'll get right back on the road. Okay. We'll just figure these kids out, and then we can keep tracking. We can keep going. I just want to, just put the kids back where they came from, or so help me. And he kind of like stumbles into the next room, kind of feeling guilty. He feels so bad. Like Gilbert has bungled this.
How do we know who can read spells and who can't, or read scrolls?
Gorm walks in and like takes the scroll. He's like, I already have a scroll. He's like, I know how to do these things.
So there's that, and also basically anyone can read it unless it's said otherwise in their classes. So the Fang Deserter cannot read.
And we already know Orange can't read anything anyway, so.
Orange looks at the scroll, and at the top, it's like pronunciation is very important, and Orange is like,
Orange just draws a big orange on it. Floppy.
Yeah, and then these scrolls, they are the magic powers of this game. So if someone decides to utilize it, they will make a presence check of DR12. Difficulty rating, I don't know why I read it as DR12. Difficulty rating 12 to succeed. And yeah, good or bad things can happen.
Gorm is ready. The other great thing about this is, like, I know that if you mess up magic, it becomes trouble real fast. So, Gorm walks in. He takes the scroll from Danzig, and and he's just like, "We gotta get out of here. This is a waste of time." And he just takes the scroll, and I'll say what he says depending on my roll. He takes the scroll, and he takes it, and he didn't even really look. He just starts reading it. Gable, if not, it's no. But turns out the scroll was upside down. The time I rolled a natural one, just a straight natural one. He didn't even take the time to really like. Yeah, I know you're gonna have. It's the crit failure tables. He doesn't. He's so unhappy with the situation. He's so fed up with the situation. He doesn't take the time to even check like what way this girl is, and he just reads it backwards and upside down, and reads the full thing before he realizes what he's done.
Okay. So yeah, let me roll to the really bad things page.
Remember when those dice was kind to me?
Seems
you
like
used
ages
up all
ago.
your luck.
I used it all up.
Yeah, at the beginning, you fool.
Okay, so
It's a marathon, not a race.
It's a
so
marathon is a race.
So reading it upside down and backwards or whatever, your eyes, like your scleras, just flash black for a moment, and smoke starts to rise from your hands where it touches the scroll. Take 2 points of damage, and then you just like crumple to your knees. You are disoriented. You're dizzy for the next hour and cannot use powers for that time. But because you rolled a 1, fun things happen.
I was gonna say, if all I got was 2 damage, I'm so on board with that.
Let's see.
I don't like the DM excited roll.
Right,
Looks
he's
at
so
the
excited.
spreadsheet.
He's
Yeah.
just throwing dice everywhere.
This is gonna be a bad time.
Smiling really wide and clapping. Like,
Yeah.
it's
You can see he's flexing a little bit, like just.
Just like so excited at what terrible things are happening. So as you fall to your knees, your scleras are still black. Your head reaches backwards and your jaw opens up. It's just like this black flame shoots out of it for a moment. Doesn't produce heat, but then after a moment, the flame fades. Your eyes return to normal. You're still just dizzy. Your ears are ringing, seeing double of things. And through the cracks in the roof, and you can see outside through the windows, it starts to snow, but it's black ash falling around you.
Well,
Are we able to see that it's snowing?
Yes.
I just
Okay.
realized that this scroll is backwards and upside down. Let me just. There it is. Look, it'd be so much easier to read this way. I feel like death, so I'm gonna hand this sack to you, Danzig. If you need a pyrotechnic for your next tour, let me know.
It's cutting edge pyrotechnics.
I've made a horrible mistake. I knew I shouldn't be involved in any of this.
Shouldn't have had those peppers at lunch. We all know Scandinavians can't take the heat.
Not in the slightest.
So as the black ash falls from the sky,
Gorm does a
it's
little
not
bit like
cold.
And then a little tinier gout of little flame comes out. And then the fish comes out again. God, dude, oh, damn it.
No, get back in there.
Gilbert like scoops up the fish and like puts it in his pocket, like just to give it because it's so full of water, like so waterlogged.
So yeah, it's snowing black ash around you.
Orange is gonna rush to the front door of the school because his pets are still outside.
Okay.
Is
To make
Orange
sure that
doing
they're
this,
okay. No. He's very concerned for his pets. Are they okay in the black ash snow?
Yeah, they seem fine.
Okay, so it's not like hurting them in any way.
Nope.
Okay. So with a deep sigh of relief, he's gonna go back into the classroom.
I think it's time to go. And Gilbert like kind of uncomfortably shifts. What are the kids doing? What are the spirits doing?
They haven't reacted.
Okay.
They looked around for a moment when the black flame spurted from Gorm's face, but then after a moment they just kind of returned to their state of normalcy.
They were like, boring. Seen that before.
Danzig, what's with that scroll? Do you have any idea what that is?
And he just like has his hands up and is just like, magic can act in weird ways. I don't know.
Can Gilbert grab it and try and read it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, you can go for it. So that is a presence check with a difficulty rating of 12.
Okay. $13.
Okay. So Gilbert's eyes just roll back, and just from the bottom, just black fills up his entire eyes. So Gilbert,
Look, Gorm, me too.
you look around the room, and like everything seems like it's covered in just a thick gray haze until your eyes lock on the corpse leaned against the door that leads up to the bell tower. It seems as if your body just launches itself to his direction. You look around, and everything is just all hazy, like an odd, strange dream. And you look down, and it's not the body that you know, but it seems to be the body of the person who is dead there. And you just get glimpses of them doing actions such as putting a letter into their bag and then trekking across the land. They hear a strange noise as they're heading out east, which deters them away. There's something following them. They run. Not enough time to catch their breath. The sound seems to be getting closer. Looks up, and he's just made his way deep into a forest. As he continues to look around, he continues just running, the sound getting louder and louder behind him. Eventually, this vision, this person whose body you're inside, reaches a clearing. There's a large lake frozen over and a dilapidated schoolhouse not far away. He runs up into the schoolhouse, and it's just dead quiet. Looking into the rooms, there are just these children, stone, still. But he doesn't hear the sound following him anymore. The door hasn't opened behind him. He decides that it might be safe here. He decides to take refuge for a little bit. And he starts to close his eyes, starts to relax, until he hears the door slam open. He runs back into the main hallway and is confronted by a large man covered in tattoos, a flail in his hand that is just smoking and white hot. The man darts at him, and the last thing you see is the flail swinging towards right at your face. As soon as it's about to make contact with you, you snap back, wide awake, gasping for breath.
And like Gilbert sort of comes to life and like turns to Gorm and goes, "Did you see that?"
Gorm looks up and goes, like some ash coming out.
Did you see the guy in the hall? Did you see him die?
He's dead.
No, I was inside his body. I was him, and I was running through the woods, and I was trying to get up here, and then it was very quiet, and I decided to sit down, and the last thing that he saw was this guy, just this big hulking guy covered in tattoos and a mace that just hit him right in the face. Did we see any of that?
No, but you were kind of making running motions while your eyes were closed. It was pretty cute.
Gilbert is like, thank you for the compliment. You're very attractive yourself. You're shiny. He just kind of like stutters around. Is there any like footprint or anything? Like, is there any previous sign that he's seen of this like Goliath creature?
Well, real quick, you probably, is this a Goliath creature that we would instantly recognize?
Yes, it is the same one that you fought.
Oh
Lord
God.
Jessica.
Okay.
That Orange now has his flail.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I would recognize the
You
flail,
look at the murder weapon.
and it sort of connects.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Not with your head.
I don't think that this scroll is going to offer us any other assistance. I think we have to go. I think we have killed the thing that was already in here, and there's no reason that we would need to freaking stay here. And he just sort of like is really cagey and uncomfortable and points at the mace and just goes, it was that killed that guy out there, and now we're in here with a bunch of dead kids. Ah, God. Helpful scroll
kids,
though.
Are the
What was
dead
that?
kids still floating around the ash piles?
Yeah.
Scrum's just going up to them and like running his hand through the souls.
Yeah, your hand just passes right through.
That's cool. He's just doing that for entertainment's sake.
Orange, before leaving, he really wants to write an apology on the board to the kids, but he can't write. So instead he like draws a really poorly drawn orange and some like stick figures to represent the others, and like a frowny face, and then he just leaves and goes out to his pets.
So is this the room that they're all in, or are you doing this in the art room?
In the room that they're all in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
so
assuming that Scrum got Orange, and he just watched the
Yeah.
smoke thing happen.
So there are enough of you in this room that one of you is bound to notice it. As the chalk scratches on the board, it seems to get the attention of the spirits.
Oh my gosh,
look
your
up at the
teacher
board.
skills are kicking in.
They look up and look around the room as the words form onto the board.
Wait, Orange, do that again.
Words.
Orange,
Well, the scribblings on the board are written by Orange.
Orange draws his dog, like a stick figure of his dog, on the board.
And the spirits are like looking at the board. They look shocked that something is writing on the board. One of them that's like right in the front row. So you can see its spirit slowly float towards the front of the board. The spiritual trail like still attached to the pile of ash. And it reaches down as if it's picking something up off of the board. Makes a movement in front of the board. And in front of you, the word hello? ? Forms.
Orange nods, and then he like draws a stick figure that's waving.
Wait, Orange can read?
No.
So yeah, Orange, weird hieroglyphics form in front of your face.
or maybe instead of drawing a stick figure, Orange just copies the letters right underneath.
Gorm is in the back of the room. He's sitting there. He has like his hand now. He's been using it to like cover his cough. There's just black ash like across his hand. And he like looks up, and for the first time ever, he seems slightly disheveled and unclean in that there's like black stains of soot on his like lips and
But he just looks like a really hot goth.
He looks like a real hot goth, yeah. And he like puts his chain wallet back in his back pocket, and he looks up and he is like, hello, more like, hell no, we're not doing this. This is a bad idea.
You know what? I think you're right. I'm sorry for not listening to you more. Does anybody in the room want to interact with these ghosts at all?
Scrum is already at the chalkboard writing, "Hello, small child."
After you write that,
how is it that the soldier doesn't know how to read and write, but the gutter-born scum does?
Bob taught me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Before he was the skull.
Bob the builder. He was a contractor.
That's exactly what he was created after.
No.
In the backstory, I said Oz. He was a janitor.
Beautiful.
So you write "Hello, small child" on the board, and the child responds underneath it, "Who are you?"
Orange is still drawing. He's like a good half of the board. It's just stick figures and mountains and flowers and trees. I hope someone's drawing with him.
Scrum is gonna write, "Just passing through. How did you get like this?"
And so the child responds, and it takes him a while to write all of this out. It says, "Normal day in class. Someone came through holding a large big ball of light." Have to remember to talk like a 10-year-old. Someone came in holding a big ball of light, and then we weren't in the classroom anymore.
I'm gonna nod, or Scrum will nod, and then say, right on the board, "What did the man look like?"
Big, bald, drawings all over him.
I'm gonna look at the rest of the party, or Scrum looks at the rest of the party and says, "I think it was Blurred Jessica."
Man, that guy's everywhere.
At least we already took care of him.
Or did we?
He almost took care of us.
That's true. And that kid, too.
I think he did the opposite of taking care of us. He took more care of the kid.
He took pretty great care of the kid, considering, the cannibalism.
Orange.
I love Orange.
He just goes back to drawing. Has anyone joined him in drawing on the board yet?
No. Most of the spirits are so confused. Only one brave enough has been responding to you guys.
He's gonna leave and go to the next room where he found the art.
Okay.
And just start drawing on the board.
I think Gorm is gonna lean into the fact that he would probably be a horrible parent and just be like, "Tell the kids they're dead. They should know. They deserve to know." I would want to know if I was dead.
Are they actually dead though? I mean, they're pretty dead.
When you when you say that, when Scrum says that, Gorm takes his hand and he just pushes it through the head of a child. It's like, I don't know. What do you think?
So the kid keeps writing on the board. I don't know what's happening. We can see the classroom, but we just seem stuck.
Was that you was whimpering as a child?
That was me coughing as a human.
Hey guys, I think they're stuck here. I think we screwed up.
Ask if there's a way to free them.
I hand Gilbert the piece of chalk.
Gilbert walks up and in like clearly scrawly like cursive goes, "Is there a way to free you?" ?
Upon seeing a different handwriting next to the handwriting, next to the drawings, the spirit of the child seems shocked. Responds, "How many of you are there?"
Don't answer
Gilbert
that. Don't answer that question.
Gilbert just writes hundreds.
Do you see the spirit of the child drop whatever was in its hands and kind of like pull its hair back, eyes wide? Just
Gilbert writes, "Just kidding, just kidding."
JK.
The child, like you see its spirit reach down and pick up whatever it had in his hand, and responds on the chalkboard and says, "I don't know. We were away from the classroom for so long. It was just dark."
I don't think there's anything that we can do for these kids, guys.
I take the chalk back from Gilbert and write on the board, "We'll help you," or "We'll help you going to get cigarettes."
Oh,
I think it's time we go, guys.
So Ernst, back in your classroom, there was like the initial shock of like something drawing on the chalkboard, but some of the spirits have joined in creating art on the board.
Yes. What are we drawing together?
What did you start drawing?
Ernst started drawing the lake and the land. He's still very inspired by the very nice book that he stole from the library. So he's drawing the lake with the trees. And like this time he's kind of drawing, however subconsciously, what just happened. So like the ice broken and his pets by the shore and like his friends.
It was 5 weeks ago, but I'm fairly certain we were playing Hangman on that board.
Oh God, you were.
you were.
I don't remember for the life of me what
that
the
was
word...
in the math classroom. That was in the math classroom.
Okay, well, so those kids like came to seeing Hangman on the
board. So Ernst is drawing the lake and basically what just happened.
Yeah, two of the spirits start drawing on the board with you. And you recognize the style of one of them as they help in drawing the trees and the reflections in the lake.
Aw. Ernst starts engaging with that part of the drawing a lot, like adding little birds to the trees. And he's not very good at shading. Art is not his strong suit. He's not very dexterous. But he's drawing like the little M birds near the tree and like little stick forest animals on the ground around it.
The student is drawing the reflections in the part of the lake that's not broken or shattered. The other person that's drawing on the board has drawn the generic sun with like 6 spikes and a big smiley face on it.
Good.
Put some cool Ray-Bans on it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the life is good face.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the rest of you in the other classroom, what do you do? You wrote, "We'll help you after we get cigarettes" or whatever on it.
Yeah.
Scrum, I feel really bad. I don't want to leave these kids here, but I don't. If we've already killed Lord Jessica, then I guess we've already avenged them somewhat.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Yeah,
I don't know what we can do for these kids. I'm kind of on Gorm's side right now.
I don't know. Gorm, we're out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Just another misery for the world, I guess.
It's full of them.
That's true.
Sometimes
At least we're
you
not
just
dead.
gotta keep walking on.
That's true.
So you guys exit the schoolhouse, and it is in the dead of night. And
Orange is still drawing.
Okay. Does anyone fetch Orange?
Yeah.
You can hear the very heavy-handed scribbling on a chalkboard coming from the art room.
It's just like, like
That's a good noise. That's real good noise.
Or
E.
Orange decided that the wizard teeth would do a little better with the shading. Some little like sharper line marks.
God.
he's who comes to get him?
Gilbert will come in.
Okay, Orange is in the middle of like drawing flowers around the lake.
Oh,
With the one student whose art he took. Just very into it. And the
Yeah.
flowers are not good.
no, it's like the circle with like the 4.
It's a 5.
Don't you
he
dare!
knows that
Okay.
flowers
Don't you
have more
dare
than 4
at me
petals.
right now.
Gilbert is gonna stone-faced lie, just be like, "That's really good. These are incredible paintings."
Orange
Doing a
stands
great
up
job.
and grins, and you see like all of his absolutely terrifying teeth. He's just like,
Gilbert's like, "Yeah, you ready to hit the road? Everybody wants to hit the road. Do you want to go?"
Orange puts like a last little leaf on one of the flowers, and he puts down the chalk and.
So, Orange, if you look over at the spirit that was helping you draw, you notice that the spirit is smiling and tears are rolling down its cheek.
Aw.
Because of how bad it is. So it's he's just like, look at this jabroni trying to draw a flower.
This absolute idiot.
one tear for the idiots.
Gilbert like can notice like the obvious like dichotomy between like some of them being really like good and stylized and some of them being like little orange flowers. Just goes orange and like points at it. The one that Orange drew is like, "Let's go, bud."
Orange is gonna really quickly draw a really like poorly drawn squiggly orange to sign his name, and then puts down the chalk and follows Gilbert out.
The kid signs his
Yes.
name and it just says apple.
Compliments.
Thank you. Yes.
Yep, that's how the kid signs it. The kid's name is confirmed. Pamplemousse.
Well done. Well done.
He goes
Comes
by
full
Moose.
circle.
So you guys exit the schoolhouse, and the ground that was once covered in a layer of white snow has now just been covered with a thin layer of the black ash that has been falling from the sky. It is also still in the middle of the night. You guys have not rested. You kind of journeyed up to the lake, and then all of this happened. So all of you are quite tired and cold.
Yeah, Gorm made a fire with one of
Yes.
the desks.
He
Hopefully that kid doesn't miss that desk too much. Or they had extras. But Gorm collects some more wood.
It's a school. They didn't have extra.
they barely had enough.
They barely had enough.
He took one of
Wait,
the only...
no, this is not a school in America. I'm sorry.
So, but Gorm goes and he just goes over by the fire and he lays his jacket out over this kind of little, just a log or whatever, and he lays down and he does like a little, he pushes some of the ash snow out and makes a little space, and he lays down and he's just like, well, that was a day.
Gilbert comes over and like gets a stick, like a really big stick, and like pops it in the ground like next to the fire, and like drapes his coat over it so that it can dry by like the heat of the fire, and like the smoke sort of tunnels towards it in the way that fires do. And he kind of like lays down like next to it, like hulks and like sits his back up against it, goes, "Sure was, bud. Sure was." It's just sort of like sitting there still wet.
Orange plops down in the snow next to the fire, and he's got his mule behind him and his pets around him, and he pulls out his book and he pulls the artwork out of the book, and he takes a piece of charcoal out of the fire, and to the best of his ability, he turns the artwork over and he starts to write pamplemousse on the back, but he doesn't really remember how the letters are shaped.
Oh,
Hey, prepper.
So does it look like when a computer doesn't have a font and it just makes those squares?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like he's imitating the shapes of the letters as best as he can remember them. But without comparing it, like without holding up the paper next to the name on the board, you would never know what it says.
So are you guys sitting near the lake, or are you away from it?
Oh yeah, we're right in between the middle of the lake and the school. We're kind of actually probably semi close to the school building.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So yeah, and you guys,
where this fire was started.
perfect. You guys get some rest. Are you guys taking watches of any sort?
I'll take first watch.
I'll take second watch.
Glenn, you got third.
All right.
Gorm is like, "I'm getting a full night's of sleep."
Gorm is really unhappy about the almost having drowned. He does not like water. Not his friend.
Okay, let's see. So, it's a surprisingly calm night. Not my favorite part.
Misery die?
Yeah.
You get a 1.
Yes, yes.
It's a surprisingly calm night, but deep below
And
the
then we-
Earth's center.
So, let's see.
That's our
what fun
second
things
one of the game, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've done what, like 4 in-game nights
Yeah,
too?
No, it's been more than that. It's been
Yeah.
6, 7.
Oh, well.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Deep down in the Earth's core. Yeah, Thundercats, yes.
The Promares are revolting.
It's
And
true.
All right, so let's see.
The burnish.
Mhm.
53. So, as you guys are resting, you all share this dream, similar to the one that you shared about a week ago in game time. It's a black sky. There's a cliff just reaching out into the darkness as a man stands on the edge of it. This time, though, your perception of the man is closer. You're closer to him than you were the first time. You cannot see his face, but he shouts out into the darkness, "And birds shall fall dead from the sky." The dream fades away as you all wake up, welcoming the morning.
There any birds singing?
That doesn't seem so welcoming.
It is a very quiet morning.
Gorm is just packing his stuff. And he kind of is like getting the last bit of water out of some of it that he kind of like slept on. And then he's like, "Well, Glenn, where are we off to now?"
So, with only 15 minutes left, I figured it's not enough time to go and get off into any more trouble. It's a good ending point, having just got a misery.
Gilbert goes and gets his shoes that he left on the side of the lake and forgot to put back on.
All right.
Yeah, give us a little cliffhanger on what we're gonna get ourselves into either next week or the week after. We will keep everybody very well posted on that.
That's it.
So, as the vague mystery of Lord Jessica and the letter for Gilbert unfold, perhaps our adventurers will be journeying back to Galgenbeck for some rest and to regain their rations. But who knows what evils lie in the darkness of Sarkar as they journey back.
Why would you say
dun,
rations
dun.
instead of just saying lard?
It's been established we only eat lard here.
That's how you keep
We are
Only
not a
lard.
rationing people.
Perfect
We're on a
skin.
strict keto diet.
Yeah. Gorm's very serious about it. He's got his weight loss goal in mind.
Yeah, he's really trying to get below 8% body fat.
Mhm.
He's always talking about how the human body is designed to run like a well-oiled machine, and that means lard.
Oil.
Yep, you gotta keep
oil,
it
get
lubricated.
going. I also liked. I felt like Lord Jessica and the letters for Gilbert would be like a really good album title.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's like my
100%.
really hardcore emo group.
Lord Jessica is the name of the group, and Letters for Gilbert is like their debut album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that like the album cover, it's a sepia tone. It has like a dead tree in the background and
Oh,
written in
yeah?
cursive.
Well, no, it's got
Absolutely.
a frozen lake.
I was gonna say, are you just describing the album cover for like the Fray back in the early 2000s?
No, that was light bulbs. That was light bulbs.
I
That
was thinking
what
the
I was thinking.
used. I was going towards
Oh,
the used.
yeah, with the little heart coming
Yeah.
off the tree. Oh my god.
Hey Zarko, you want to get on stream? We're wrapping
Yes.
up. You want to come? No. Okay.
The cat's hiding from me. She made sure to knock a pillow off of the futon before she left.
That's good. Make sure you
I'm
know that
very-
she was there.
I'm very disappointed. She knocked my pro mare down. It's
Aw.
on that you can't. There it is. See, look at it on the floor. Poor pro mare.
Where's the baby?
We need it. Allah, this is taking too long.
There she is.
What a good cat.
What a baby.
So yeah, and so to recap a little bit, your first misery that we rolled was look to the west. Forth comes fire and a horde, and the kingdom burns.
I did forget about that. So
Thank you guys. Grab my microphone. Thank you guys so much for checking us out, getting back on board with us. We're really happy to be streaming again and playing again. We're gonna be right here at Growling Goblin Studios either next week or for sure the week after. We're gonna keep you all posted with that, and you can follow us at Disease Save on Twitter for the most up-to-date information. Or alternatively, for the most up-to-date information, you can follow on Instagram Sanji's Closet. You can follow Vi. I never know how many Vi's it is. Vi.
It's 3.
3. Vi.
Vi Violet.
It's
Yeah.
7.
You can follow. You can follow the Viking cosplay right here. You could also follow. Is it Drunkle Ben on Instagram?
It is Drunkle Ben on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Well done.
And that will keep you up to date on everything Save Against Disease, everything in our little world of Mörk Borg. And we are so excited. So thank you guys so much. And anybody else have sign-offs that they want to do? Thank you for the donations today. We're
Thank
really
you so much, guys.
Thank you guys so much. And always
much.
thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, thank you to Goblins and Growlers for hosting us. We wouldn't be as successful without them.
True.
And lastly, thank you to all you idols out there. Thank you for K-popping and K-bopping in. That's it.
Amen.
Amen.
I don't know if I'm insulting you, Ben. I'm trying
No.
to say positive things, but you know, I'm the boomer of millennials. Awesome. You guys are the greatest. We love you. See you hopefully next week, at the very least 2 weeks from now.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey guys.
Thanks so much.